Arthur, anything to say?
Dog, I just pulled up back to the crib and I didn't even see it. I thought the game was over. All right. Honestly, I left the restaurant. They had the game on. I left for like 3:30 to go. The Thunder were up 8. I'm like, oh, okay, like, all right. You know, good game one win for them. Um, Played very well. 19 turnovers in the first half. First team to ever, make their opponent do that in the NBA Finals history in a half. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, all right. And yeah, like the Pacers they clawed their way back, but I'm still like, you know what? The Grizzlies did this in the first round with OKC. OKC is going to just, put the pedal to the metal with this time left over, and they're going to end the game. But Tyrese Haliburton is probably on the most clutch run of all time. Like, but it doesn't make sense because you would think logically that a team should not be able to hang around like they do and win like they do. You would think at some point in time somebody would have their number and say, no, like this isn't going to happen. You're not going to come back and beat us. And you know it's crazy, man. It's absurd what we're witnessing from him every single time he's needed to do something. The Pacers need him to do something. He's done it. um Wild game, great buzzer beater. I thought he was going to do a step back three, but he took the mid-range. The defender gave him space, great win by the Pacers,
Arthur,
man. And
you know what this
so
reminds me of a little bit? Because and ironically the same coach from this finals is involved, but remember that game 2 when Miami was up in the fourth quarter and Dallas made that crazy run at the end? And I've said that this does have a little bit, if you want to pick Indiana, which as my guy Guido did, and shout out to Paris, who's a big Pacers fan. It's never over for the Pacers. We've won every game one. And then Mike, Indiana is that team this year. Everything is rolling right. If you wanted to make the case for the Pacers, it's very similar to that of Dallas back in 2011, where it's, Dirk hits the layup with 1 second left. Haliburton hits the game winner with 3/10 left. And to your point, like the run that this guy is going on, I broke it down. Hits the game-winning layup against Milwaukee to literally win the series. And they were down 7 with 50 seconds left in that game. Came back
yeah,
and won.
man, Milwaukee was literally about to force another game.
Yeah, and so you have that, and then you have the collapse that Cleveland had against Indiana. I think it was a similar spot. I think that was also 7 points with under a minute. Halliburton hits the walk-off three. Knicks, they're down 9 with 40-something seconds left. Come back, Halliburton, Reggie Miller choke, all that. And then in this spot, Oklahoma City with a 15-point lead with 9 minutes left, and the Thunder come back and win this basketball game. By the way, for what it's worth, and finals are decided by moments, you know this, SGA misses the mid-range to put Oklahoma City up 3. And yeah, not saying they win the game at that point. Indiana had been hot from 3. Nimhard and what was my guy's name? Obi Toppin, I feel like hit some threes.
Miles Turner hit some really big
Miles
shots
Turner,
down the stretch.
Neesmith hit a few threes in this game. And it was not saying the game would have been over. I'd say you and I probably would have gotten a debate about strategy fouling up 3. But SGA misses the shot, and it's 1-0 Pacers with game 2 in Oklahoma City on Sunday. Oklahoma City, by the way, is a 10.5-point favorite at home in game 2. Like Vegas is expecting them to kind of respond. I think I tend to agree.
They're going to respond. If they don't, they're going to have to blow them out by 30. They're going to have to blow them out by 30 just to set the tone of going back to Indiana. They're now the OKC Thunder. I saw a stat during the game saying that they were 29-1 against Eastern Conference teams this year, and now they're 29-2. It Man, dog, like they were doing. It seemed like early on, right? The Thunder were doing a great job of playing defense without fouling. Again, 19 turnovers in the first half. And then you've got Indiana. It looks like they're fouling and things of that nature, but they're staying composed. They're staying in it. They're knocking down shots. And when you try to kill clock, if you don't score, that's going to hurt you. And I saw it, and I was leaving out, but I felt confident that OKC was going to kill it. But I saw when SGA just started to slow the game down. And I was like, okay, if you're going to do this, especially with them being down single digits and fighting back, you're going to need to score, right? Miles Turner hits a elbowed mid range, puts them down 5. He had a wide open 3 opportunity that would have put them down by 1 and made the
Yep.
score 108, 107. But if you're going to slow the game down, you have to score as the team that's up. If you don't score, that plays right into the hands of the other team, especially with the Pacers who love to run. And if you don't get back on defense, they're going to make you pay. So man, man. Mm,
I'm looking right now at the box score, and it looks like this is just a raw reading of it, but Oklahoma City scored 6 points in the final 4 minutes of the basketball game.
man.
So SGA hits a layup with 4 minutes left. Then it gets to the free throw line. SGA at the free throw line, we never see that. Hits 2 free throws with 3.5 minutes left. Scrolling down here, SGA makes 2 more free throws. Never seen that before. And then he makes a big mid-range shot that put him up 5. I feel like that shot that put him up 5, I'm like, okay, that's kind of the moment. Indiana made their run. Oklahoma
Yeah.
City is gonna slam the door as the best defensive team in basketball. But listen, my favorite commentator, and darn it, I wish he was still commentating the finals, Mark Jackson, always said it. Great offense beats great defense any day of the week, and that was the fascinating aspect of these finals. Best offense, best defense, who's going to win out in the fourth quarter? It was not particularly close.
And the dope thing about it, I mean, you go and look at the box score, right, of both of these teams. Oklahoma City, SGA, obviously the best team. He's got 38. Jalen Williams has 17. Lou Dort has 15. Caruso has 11. But then when you look at Indiana, it's so balanced. Siakam had 19. Neesmith had 10. Turner had 15. Nembhard had 14. Haliburton had 14. Toppin has 17. Like, dude, how
Balance.
bro, you should not be able to win with that type of scoring.
But
SGA
kind of how
scoring
they win, though, Arthur. That's their model. Like, that's what's made them the best offensive basketball is they have. I mean, listen. Here's the thing that I am, and I almost said it live here on the show right after Haliburton hit the shot. Is how can you not call him a superstar? And it's weird because it's like he averages 18 points and 9 assists. Like that's not necessary. Those aren't necessarily superstar numbers. Although I'd have to look back at some of Chris Paul's years. Chris Paul's a superstar and was putting up similar numbers, but still, it's you have the one superstar. I believe he is. I think he's one of the 12 best players in the NBA. And then after that, you have like 2 good number 2 options in Siakam, and then pick a pacer. You could pick Neesmith, you could pick Tobin, Miles Turner, and then like 5 number 3 options. Like that's the fascinating aspect of this Indiana team. They moved the basketball well. And again, a lot of those turnovers were just beating themselves, but you give credit, and Paris makes a great point here. 25 turnovers, but only gave up 7 points off those turnovers. That's the difference in the basketball game right there.
That hurts you. That hurts you.
It does. I mean, I'm looking at the Oklahoma City. I mean, Jalen Williams, 6 of 19. Chet Holmgren, 2 of. Chet Holmgren had a rough night, man. I mean, there were moments like Dagnall would take him off the floor, leave Hartenstein in. They tried to go small tonight, which I thought was interesting because it took Hartenstein out. I think they put was it Isaiah no, Casey Walls. They put Casey Walls in the starting lineup and said, "Hey, we're going to run with you, Indiana." And early on, it was working. And so, but man, what a shocking end to a situation. I mean, I was coming in prepared to talk about how, because I've compared this Oklahoma City team and how they're constructed to the 90s Bulls, where you've got the great number 1 shooting guard, the wings, you got scoring bigs, shooters, and that's not what happened.
They're not just compared to the 90s Bulls. If let's say they pull this out, right? They are going to be compared to a lot of great teams. The 90s Bulls, 64 Lakers. I'm talking about teams that had one of the best records in NBA history and then went on to dominate the playoffs and win the NBA Finals. Like, if the Oklahoma City Thunder can stick to this script that they're on, yes, they lost game 1. Okay, cool. If they can win the next 4 games, they are going to be an elite company with those teams, with your 2017 Warriors, right, who had great postseasons, have one of the best records in NBA history, and then went on to just dominate the NBA playoffs. And that, yeah, man, that's one heck of a collapse. This is not the way that you would have wanted to start this series. This is not how I thought they were going to start the series. I thought, honestly, they were going to come out and just blow the hinges off of Indiana. I thought that they were going to make sure Indiana had no chance to compete with them. But we know Indiana, man, and we know the modern NBA. 20-point deficits are not 20-point deficits from even 10 years ago. 20
Nope.
point
Three-point shots
deficits,
changed everything.
yeah, like 20-point deficits literally are like a walking apart for some of these teams. Indiana being one of them, who just show grit and they just lock in at the perfect time. And again, you would think for a team that has been down multiple times this playoffs would be like, you know what? We can't keep trying to bounce back. We have to make sure we keep our foot on the gas. We can't allow ourselves to get down double digits. We can't allow ourselves to get down by 20 plus. If we can stay in that 5 to 10 range throughout the game, then we will be fine. But they don't care. They
Yeah.
really do not care. And they just keep on going and going and going. And they click at the right time. And it seems like whoever their opponent is just falls apart.